This is a brief overview of some of the key events of the American Revolution. The war begins April 19th, 1775 in Massachusetts at the battles of Lexington and Concord. July 3rd, George Washington is appointed command of the Army by the Second Continental Congress. Things are not looking good for the Patriots, but Common Sense is written by Thomas Paine, and this pamphlet helps to encourage many patriots to continue on, even though things are not looking good. July 4th, 1776, the Second Continental Congress issues the Declaration of Independence from Great Britain. Keep in mind, it took over a year from the first shots of the war until actually declaring independence. There's several reasons for that. One thing you should take away is the fact that there was a great deal of hesitation even after first shots were fired. There are some people that were ready for independence years before. Sam Adams, he was ready to go. Paul Revere, he's ready to go. But a lot of patriots, though angry at Great Britain, they're not quite sure they want to go all the way and actually break away from the empire. They're just hoping that Great Britain will change how they're doing things, the government of Great Britain, the king and parliament. But by July 4th, enough have been convinced that the Second Continental Congress has a vote and the Declaration of Independence is agreed upon. Keep in mind that there's only some colonists say America is free, but Britain disagrees. The war will decide, so the war is just getting started. Keep in mind, too, that we're not sure of exact numbers, but John Adams estimated that approximately one-third of colonists were patriots in favor of revolution. About one-third were neutral. They're just trying to raise their families and farm, and they want to stay out of this stuff. And about one-third are loyalists. So the American Revolution is also a civil war. It is not all the colonists together fighting Great Britain, but there are colonists fighting colonists. August 1776, New York falls to Great Britain. Again, things are not looking good for George Washington or the colonists. In a desperate attempt to raise troop morale, George Washington orders an unlikely winter attack on Princeton and Trenton in New Jersey. The attacks are successful, and the attacks, though from a military perspective, not that big of a deal, but from a morality perspective, keeping the Patriots keeping their motivations high, it was a key victory for George Washington. October 1777, the Patriots win the Battle of Saratoga in New York. This is key. France was supporting the Patriots, the colonists, but they're doing it on the down low. After the Battle of Saratoga, after the colonists actually achieved a pretty big victory against the British, the French formally came out as an ally of the colonist patriot cause. So France is going to become an ally, and a key reason that the colonists are able to defeat the greatest military power in the world, Great Britain, arguably the greatest military power in the world. Still, things are rough. The winter of 1777 to 78 is that cold, hard winter in Valley Forge. Actually, no battles were fought there, but the lack of supplies and lack of food. It's a freezing cold, unusually cold, bitter winter in Pennsylvania. So things are tough for the colonists. Finally, remember, way back here is when the Second Continental Congress says, hey, we're free and independent. But the war goes on for years until the last battle, the Battle of Yorktown. There are some skirmishes that happen after Yorktown, but Yorktown is the last major battle of the war. And it's after this that Great Britain decides, you know what? Okay, fine, you guys can go free. Keep in mind, Great Britain is still a world power. It's not as if the colonists defeated Great Britain and are occupying London. No, Great Britain remains a power, but they decide to let the American colonies go. They have to focus their resources on France and some other colonies that they have throughout the world. So this is a huge victory for the colonists, become the United States. But here's where Great Britain says, fine, you said way back here that you guys are free. Okay, we actually now agree with you. You guys are free. That's a brief overview.